Good morning, children. Welcome to the new session of 2021. And we start with English language today. You are already familiar with functional grammar, and we have in functional grammar the various type of transformation of sentences. Today we deal with the change of voices, that is active to passive and passive to active. The first example we start with is Robin helps Janet. Janet is helped by Robin. If you check the first sentence, which is an active voice, the verb that expresses action of the subject is said to be in an active voice. The doer of the action. The active voice is so called because the person denoted by the subject acts. Active voice is mostly used as a direct and forceful power of speech. The second point, the second one which we deal is, if we see the second one, the Janet is helped by Robin. The verb expressing what is done to the subject is called to be in passive voice. The person or thing is not active but passive. It suffers or receives some action. We have few examples to illustrate the difference between the active and the passive voice. Savitri loves mangoes. Mangoes is loved by Savitri. The mason is building the wall. The wall is being built by mason. The peon opened the gate. The gate was opened by peon. Some boys were helping the wounded man. The wounded man was being helped by some boys. He will finish the work in a fortnight. The work will be finished by him in a fortnight. Who did this? By whom was this done? Why did your brother write such a letter? Why was such a letter written by your brother? It is noticed that when the verb is changed from active voice, the object of the transitive verb here stands for makes, helps, in the active voice becomes the subject of the verb in the passive voice. We refer to the first example again. Robin helps Janet. Janet is helped by Robin. Thus, in sentence 1, Janet, which is the object of help, is in the active voice, becomes the subject of is loved in the passive voice. There are different forms. When we come to the formation of sentences, there are different forms which we follow. And there is a change when it comes from active to passive. For example, we start with the first part, which is a simple tense. In the simple present tense, your active verb, that is your take, in passive voice becomes am taken. Takes, in passive voice, become is taken. Am taking, in passive voice becomes are taken or am being taken. We go to the next part in which the simple present continuous tense is being talked about. Active voice, that is taking, becomes is being taken in passive voice. Are taking becomes are being taken in passive voice. We come to the next part, the third part of simple present perfect tense, in which active voice has taken is shifted to has been taken in the passive voice, and have taken shifts to have been taken in passive voice. We come to the next part, which is the simple past. In this part, the active voice took changes to was taken, or were taken. In past continuous tense, we have active voice was taking, which forms as was being taken in passive voice. Were taking shifts to were being taken in passive voice. The last part of the simple past, which is past perfect, we have active voice which says had taken, which shifts to had been taken in passive voice. We come to the third part of our change of simple future. In this, will take takes a shape of will been taken. Shall take shifts to shall be taken. There are a few other which we use is can, may, must plus base, that is whatever the verb we are talking about. That shifts to can take, which shifts to can be taken, and must take is must be taken. There are a few rules which we follow while we are using passive voice. In few cases, to eliminate the mention of an agent, that is, there is no mention of the person or the agent. The ship was wrecked. She was found cheating. Ravi was found stealing. In the second part, we have to give emphasis to the recipient of the action. English is spoken all over the world. I have been invited to the party. The king was cheered by the people. The third, to make an impersonal statement. It is hoped that the share prices will fall. My pocket has been picked. We will execute all orders. And now we have few rules which we follow with conversion from active to passive. The first one, if transitive verb has two objects, any of the two objects may become the subject. We see the example, Mary taught Ravi French. Here, Ravi and French both becomes the object. So the passive voice can be, the active voice can be transferred to passive as follows. Ravi was taught French by Mary, or French was taught to Ravi by Mary. We have another example for this which says, I gave Rita a pen. Rita was given a pen by me. A pen was given to Rita by me. When a prepositional verb is changed from active to passive voice, the preposition should not be dropped. Example, they laughed at the joker. Here at becomes your prepositional verb. The joker was laughed at by them. In the second example, we see they use video for teaching the students. Video is used for teaching the students. The third point which we discuss under this is to change auxiliary verbs from active to passive. Add be along with the past participle to the verb. Active example, Ramesh can do the work, and the passive is the work can be done by Ramesh. In the same column we have active, you must do the job must be done by you. The next point which we discuss is to change imperative sentence from active to passive voice. Let be is used if the sentence is to remain imperative, otherwise should be. Example, in active we have open the door. In passive we use let the door be opened or the door should be opened. In active we have shut the windows, and in passive we speak let the windows be shut or the windows should be shut. The next point we deal is if transitive verbs are used, the change of imperative sentences into passive voice is carried out in the following manner. We have example as sit down, and here we change into passive as you are ordered to sit down. The next example is wait there. In passive we say they are commanded to wait there. We come to the next point, which is sometimes a transitive verb is not changed to passive form but gives a passive sense. Example, in active state it says sugar tastes sweet, whereas in passive we can say sugar is sweet when it is tasted. In active we use these grapes taste sour. In passive, these grapes are sour when they are tasted. The next point which we discuss under the conversion of active to passive, we have when the doer of the action is not mentioned in the passive voice. It must be supplied in the active voice. My wallet has been stolen. That's a passive. And in active we'll say someone has stolen my wallet. I was obliged to leave, which is again a passive statement. Circumstances obliged me to leave. The next we come as continuous form. Like most continuous form, the passive continuous is concerned with the continuity rather than the complete state of an action. Example, the laborers are cutting the firewood. The firewood is being cut by the laborers. The next example, the farmers are plowing the fields. The fields are being plowed by the farmers. With this, we come to the end of the passive and active voice. I hope this part was clear to you. And in regard to the same one, we'll follow with an assignment. You are requested to do that assignment in your notebooks. And just maintain your notebooks so that we can recheck it in the end of the session. Thank you.